We're starting off high.
We can get a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
trust a human to raise a pack of wolves.
Before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I am your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings.
You sound like an auctioneer.
Right? And go to the man in the front row with the big ass forehead.
You said what?
I didn't say shit. What's going on, man? How was your week?
How was my week? It went. It came and it went.
Well, that's about all you can hope for these days.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Came and went. I'm still here, so shit.
There you go. God, this entire week was a shit show, man. Just
was it?
From the time we did the podcast on Saturday until last night. There was one or two like decent moments in the middle, but man, so we did our show Saturday, and I did it from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, they reprovisioned my modem or some shit, and then have been without internet for up until this afternoon. And what I came to find out is that they terminated service. Didn't restart it, so basically because of our situation with how I moved and when I moved,
right?
They had turned it on and then came by and turned it off. Then when
Why would they turn it off though?
Oh, just wait, it gets worse. So when I called to have a tech come out, I was told I would have a tech here on Monday at noon. No one ever showed up. Then I was told I have an appointment on Tuesday between 3 and 6. I'm like, not great, but fine. Like, we can make that work. And then I was told yesterday between 3 and 6. I called yesterday when the dude didn't show up because I got like the notification to tell me he was on the way. I called like an hour later. I'm like, this dude ain't here. And they're like, paperwork says he was there and nobody was home. I'm like, I've been sitting on the front porch for the last hour and a half. This is bullshit. This woman was the only person at WoW to do their job. She verified my address, and then kept going because I said 5-6 whatever, and she added another name to the street, and then told me the house was in Illinois. So they had the wrong fucking address on file. They sent somebody to the wrong house 4 fucking times
in Illinois.
In Illinois, and meanwhile they got no problem sending my bill to the correct address, like. You know, the billing address, I still get bills here. Like, so yeah. They ran a batch job that night. The address came back and the modem flipped back on this afternoon. I'm like, so y'all could have done, if one fucking person had done their job, this would have been resolved on Sunday.
Well, you know.
But not one fucking person did their job.
You know.
Now, I will tell you, I got 3 months free service out of it.
I bet. I got something out that shit.
So that's good. And then
Don't you work from home though?
I had to go into the office 2 or 3 times this week because I didn't have fucking internet. Which was, I mean, it was fine. Not what I want to do, especially because they've completely reformatted the office to like all of this open space. And I'm like, I don't want to be on a conference call fucking talking to people or trying to talk over people when I'm in a big open space. Like,
right.
If I had an office, which is what I'm supposed to have by now.
Right.
So that all went down. After our show on Saturday, I get a phone call on Sunday. Team got popped with COVID. Had 2 guys test positive on Sunday. So that's why we're doing the show tonight at the normal time, because we don't have a fucking game because we're in quarantine. And
How long are you in quarantine for?
So if the kids got tested by today, we can practice on Sunday. If they didn't, if not everybody got tested, then we can't practice until Tuesday. Now,
like
luckily,
every kid has to get tested.
Well, at least the ones that can come to practice. So, like, we want our core guys to get tested. If JV doesn't get tested or freshmen don't get tested, who the fuck cares?
Right.
Now, luckily, this game goes down as a no contest versus a forfeit. So all it does is lower our divisor, which is better for the playoffs anyways. But, yeah, I got that call on Sunday. So, as you know, my first full week in the house, no internet, no football, don't have my son with me. Like, the fuck, dude. So what did I do?
You had nothing to do.
What did I do? I went out on 2 dates.
Listen.
And they both told me I look better than my pictures on my thing. So there you go.
I know that's right.
That's a confidence boost, ain't it?
Get it how you live, my brother.
Shit, the one last night made me feel like I was fucking 18 again. And we didn't even really do anything. It was fine. It's just good conversation. We walked around a bit. It was a good time.
That's what's up.
But yeah, it was nice because like I feel like I've been. You said it best a couple weeks ago. Like I feel like whether because of the general situation surrounding my life or more that I had done it to myself, I've been caged, and now I'm kind of like I'm back out, puffing my chest up a bit. Like I don't know if I think I told you that I'm looking to get some ink done finally.
Yeah.
And what did I tell you what it was?
Mm-hmm. No, tell me again. You said
so I want to get like a Celtic or Nordic, almost tribal-esque wolf's head, and I've actually found one that I think will be good inspiration for whatever tattoo artist I go with. And around it, I wanted to say, the lone wolf survives, but in the pack he thrives. And then on the other arm, what I want to get is Andrew Michael, his birthday across it.
Right.
So I think that's what I'm doing. I don't know that game, so like Kevin gave me a place. There's 1 or 2 other people I want to ask. I know you were looking into something for me. So that's something that I want to try to get in. If not before the end of the year, like probably around bonus time in February, and maybe I can tee it up before then and get somebody to design it leading up to it, and then, get the shit done in February. Not knowing how that process works or how long it takes to get in for that kind of shit or whatever. So I'll have more conversations with you offline, but
right. That shouldn't be too tough to do.
I don't know. The one I found is kind of intricate, so we'll see. Yo, what up, Malcolm? See you out in the chat.
Malk out there with his chump ass. What the fuck he doing?
I mean, if you want, go ahead and hop on, Malk. I know you probably doing shit. But yeah, man, so this week was just a shit show. And then everything, like up until last night, the week just felt like completely out of my control. It was very much, the serenity prayer. It was grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And the last 24 hours, I don't know. And I jokingly said this to her afterwards. I'm like, since we hung out last night, like shit has been going right. I don't know if you put off those good vibrations, frequencies, whatever, but Shit seems to be turning around.
Listen.
So there you go.
I mean,
I
you
know
need
we've
that.
talked about it a lot.
You need that. You need that. Your body needs that just to and it doesn't, like, once again, it doesn't even have to be a sexual thing. Just your body needs certain connections, certain flares to, remember what it still got in it.
Right. Well,
and
again, coming out of what I'm coming out of, like, I've been talking to her for a lot, like, more than I've talked to anybody in a long time. And so, like, getting to meet in person and for it to still be the same vibe, that was good shit.
Yeah, that's not always common.
No, because I've definitely been in the other camp with that, where you can vibe real well with somebody if you're just like texting back and forth, and then you get in person awkward. And then it's awkward as fuck. That was not the case. So
that's what's up.
It was good shit.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you, my brother, and I'm not.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
You got any inverts?
Not really inverts. I've been going through some, like, just music shit, like listening to shit that I haven't listened to in a long time. Like, again, that feeling like an 18-year-old kid again, man. Like the shit that I used to DJ at house parties back in fucking 02 and 03. Like, we've been mixing in some Usher, been mixing in some Blackstreet, like. I was just happy to get out of the depressing country that I was listening to, like, the last week before the move. So it's been a very different vibe over the last, like, 72 whatever
man
hours.
Moved out and moved into a time machine,
right? No doubt. Podcast time machine.
Listen, that's funny. Yeah.
What about you?
I think I feel like I mean, you know what I'm gonna say. I feel like I gotta do better at writing them down.
Yeah.
Because I did have things on my mind, but I did not write them down.
I got you.
And hopefully they come to me before we wrap, but I do not have any inadverts.
I mean, honestly, like, I'm kind of with you just from the standpoint of, like, one, I was on the fucking phone with WoW for like 15 fucking hours this week across 5 days.
Right.
Jesus.
Damn, man. Yeah, it was.
Shout out to Callie and Ella, who work at WoW, I'm sure overseas, but the only two that did their fucking job over the last week and a half. So
you ain't complete the survey.
I haven't gotten it yet. And I will. And now I will tell you that I trashed the last 3 that I got.
Oh, you completed those.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now I'm waiting because I do want to give these 2 props to basically say, like, these are the only 2 people at your company that did their fucking job. Like, and I'm talking, this is a transfer of service. 1, there was WoW service at this house before I moved in. Right?
Right.
2, I brought my own equipment. I work in IT. I know how to set this shit up. All I need is a fucking signal.
All right.
And the worst part about it is that so Callie is the one that last night figured out that they had the wrong fucking address. And then Ella this morning realized that because they had the wrong fucking address, that's why they couldn't ping the modem. And they couldn't re-ping the modem until the address had gone through the batch file update.
Right.
So I'm on the phone with her, like, I'm basically begging this woman, like, I know y'all got trucks downtown. I'm just asking for somebody to come over and reconnect. And she's calling dispatch. And meanwhile, like, she must have had a spark, like, oh shit, if his address was wrong, that's why we couldn't activate it. And so she, like, came back after I thought she was talking to dispatch, and she's like, I'm getting a signal from your modem now. And I'm like, wait, what? So I left work at like noon and worked from home the rest of the day just to make sure that the shit actually worked.
That's what's up, though.
It was. And you know what? At the end of the day, like, having to go into the office didn't bother me. You know what bothered me was Monday when Andrew was here and he couldn't do what he wanted to do, and it was like couldn't play video games, couldn't watch a show. Right. Like that was the shit that I did not want to have happen again. Like he's got enough. Right. He's got enough to deal with all of this shit going on, and having to live with my soon-to-be ex-mother-in-law. Like he's got enough to worry about and deal with in terms of like his growth. Like that's not something that should be a problem. Like going to dad's house and not being able to play video games should not be a thing. So I'm glad it got resolved.
I get that 100.
He and I played video games tonight, and then we played Legos for like an hour and a half. Like it was a good night with him. The other big like positive from the week was I called him last night before I went out and before his curriculum night, and he was just in a shitty mood, and I could tell when I called, like he was upset about something. He wouldn't tell me what it was, but like just upset. And
right
within 10 minutes of talking to me, he was a different person. He was back to being happy Andrew, and I'm like, all right, that's a dad win. I'm gonna take credit for that one.
I mean, shit. I don't need, but you kind of, in this situation, you kind of have to do what you can to make him feel comfortable.
Like last week when he was over and the TV and the fucking internet weren't working, like he got upset because I didn't have any of like his regular snacks in the house. And so I looked at him, I'm like, dude, I was more worried about making sure that you had stuff for lunch, for, your meals, that kind of stuff. Like, what do you want? And I literally sat on Instacart with him, scrolling and picking shit. Like, and it was there in half an hour. And I'm like, you good now? And he just smiled, and you could tell, like, it's just little shit like that. Like, because I know he and I always have fun together.
Right.
He and I actually play together. Like, so being able to take care of that little shit just so that it's not a thing was important.
I mean, but sometimes you just gotta suck it up too.
No, and honestly, he did a good job of that when he came over the afternoon on the first day, and then most of the day that he was there on Monday, but towards the end of the day Monday, I think he was tired and just he was emotionally drained, and then two, I mean, that's like, first of all, Dad doesn't keep snacks in the house anyways, usually. So like,
yeah, I try to stay from them myself.
Right, because the problem is I know if they're here, I'm not that I will eat them because he and I don't like the same stuff, but like, if that's an easier option than like thawing something and cooking something, especially right now because I'm still not really eating. Like, what's nice right now is I have like romaine and I have turkey breast, and that's about all I've eaten this week other than going out once or twice.
But I can eat the same thing over and over and over again. I'm not the kind of person that gets...
Dude, I ate what was it? Strawberry apple, blue cheese crumbles with raspberry vinaigrette on like a romaine salad. I ate that shit every day for almost a year and a half. Like...
That sounds good.
Right? Doesn't it? It gets in, if you mix in the, what is it?
What kind of dressing did you put on it?
Raspberry vinaigrette.
Okay, I think he said that.
And then if you do the praline pecans, gives you that little, just that taste of sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That's my shit.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm pretty sure I stole that from Wendy's. I'm pretty sure that was the Wendy's like strawberry harvest salad.
What, you used to make it yourself?
I mean, what they stopped carrying it, and so I started making it myself at home and bringing it instead of, because Wendy's was an easy option to work up in Easton because Wendy's is right at the end of Stelzer and Moore's.
Fresh shit is just so hard for me because
you either buy too much and it goes bad, or you don't buy enough and it lasts you like one fucking salad.
Right.
And getting that happy medium is not my strong suit.
It is tough for me because, like you said, I don't eat very much anyway. So if I'm only eating one good meal a day for a while.
Right.
And that's not gonna last me 7 days. It's gonna go bad about four days into that.
I'm trying to get in the habit of like what Ashley does in New York with the little bodegas, like go and get enough for a day or two. And then that way, like it's fresh, you're not overbuying. Like that's just such a different mentality going from basically buying for a house of 3 eaters,
right,
and including like his friends that would come by to really just buying for myself. Like, so I'm still that's gonna take a little getting used to, but grocery bill is a lot cheaper. I don't know.
I mean, but your best friend, at least mine as a bachelor myself, my best friend is that freezer.
Oh, no doubt. And that's my thing is I've got so much good like meat products in there right now. I just need to get in the habit. And that's the thing is I got to get in the habit of like just taking it out in the morning, letting it sit all day and then cooking it up.
That's me. I'm the guy that plans to cook something and will forget about it until 6:30 and be like, well, fuck it. I guess I got to order something off Grubhub or go get something to eat.
I've been defaulting to cereal or a turkey sandwich, so I understand.
Listen, what you been watching lately? You watched anything new?
I mean, what was I watching? I was watching something before I've gone a week without internet now. I've been watching the What If.
I forgot you said that.
I've been watching the What If series on Disney Plus, which is the whole. Basically, like if
the Marvel switch shit.
If shit got switched up. Honestly, there hasn't been a lot that I was watching. I did watch a little bit of Ted Lasso, but I didn't get too far into it. That's that
what
Apple.
Is Ted Lasso?
It's this Apple Plus or this Apple TV
show about him being a soccer coach,
and he's a football coach. Like he's an American football coach who gets hired as a soccer coach for basically like the minors soccer league in Europe.
Okay.
And so it's entertaining because it's Jason Sudeikis, but like other than
funny?
that, yeah, I mean it's got its moments. I kind of went back up and down with it, like, I will tell you what I did do though. So without cable and internet, this is where me being a hoarder is a good thing. I had to retap DVD collections over the last week, so I watched Anchorman, I watched Old School, I watched Super Troopers, I watched Soul Man. There's one or two other ones in there, and like the thing that. So again, going back to this woman from last night, I brought up Soul Man, and she knew what the fuck I was talking about, and that was a win in my book. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Because nobody knows that fucking movie.
I love Soul Man.
That feels like one of those kind of movies where they basically gave Bernie and Samuel L. Jackson the plot and said, just do you.
Right.
Like, there was no script. That was all improv.
Yeah, that seems like that could definitely be what it was. I can't even... Bernie... that was...
That was
me
his
and
last
my daughter's
movie.
mom. That was the first movie we went to go see.
Was it? I couldn't even remember if it hit theaters. Like, I feel like it went so far under the radar because Bernie had passed at that point. Because I'm pretty sure it came out after he died.
Did it?
I think so. I think it came out like a couple months after he died.
I want to say he died a couple months after it came out.
Was it after? Okay. I didn't see it until after he had passed.
And then I think because Isaac Hayes died a couple months after that.
Yeah.
And they were saying how both of them was in it and passed so quick together.
Well, and that's why I thought that it came out after both of them died, and that it was basically like they had just finished shooting this movie. It was in post-production when they both passed, but you could absolutely be right. I'm pretty sure it's
after. I'm pretty sure. I can't say that 100%, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the classic in my book.
Oh, it is.
I don't know.
It's so
when you say certain people don't know it, and I think the opposite. I'll be thinking like, who doesn't know?
Right. Well,
so man, he said, "You the dog, motherfucker."
My favorite part of that movie is Bernie gets done fucking the old broad, and then they're standing out on the balcony the next morning and talking shit to each other, and the woman's daughter comes out with Samuel.
Mm-hmm. That whole movie was funny, man.
It is, and like it's not.
I might have to bring that out myself.
I don't like the thing with it is there's not like a ton of what I'll call like memorable quotes from it, but it's just funny. Like again, I think it was they gave them the premise and said just do what you would do.
Yeah. Cause it ain't yeah, like you said, it ain't so many quotes, but it's like just like the one-liners.
Right. That aren't as good without the context.
Right. That's exactly right. But I mean, what's the show I've been watching lately?
Oh, you were talking about All American last week, I think.
Yeah.
How far along are you?
I think I'm in season 3.
Okay, I've only watched like the first 2 episodes, the first 2 or 3 episodes of season 3, and I worry that like Spence going back, like I haven't gotten to any football in season 3, which is that was always my problem with that show is that you can go 2 or 3 episodes without any football, and I'm like, I don't know if I want this, and that was always my problem with Friday Night Lights was. Like,
it seems like season 3 has even less.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm with you. Like I said, I'm only like 2 or 3 episodes in, and there was none.
Yeah, it seems like there's definitely a lot less in season 3. I'm not gonna lie, but now I've been watching that the Hawaii show about the kids.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck. Outer Banks.
Okay, Outer Banks.
Is that what it's called?
I mean, I know there's a show out there called Outer Banks.
Then yeah, that's it then. But yeah, that's actually a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie about that one. That one kind of got me. I think that's why I haven't finished All American, because I've been watching that for real. That one definitely keeps my interest. You haven't seen that at all?
No, I haven't. I've heard, like I said, I've seen it and I've scrolled by it, and honestly, it will probably be something that I add to the rotation now because fuck else am I doing?
That's a good one. I'm not gonna lie though. The first couple of times I put it on, and that's just me because, and I'm not saying anything to the show, it's just me.
Yeah.
Because every time I really sit down, I won't even say sit down. I don't even really watch stream shit sitting down. You know, like when I'm on my couch, I'm either watching ESPN or a game, or
you got
playing a video game. But when I turn a movie or a TV show is on, it's usually when I'm laying down to go to sleep or something like that. So I may get the first 20 minutes out and then I'm knocked out. And then I lose interest because in my mind, I say they didn't keep my interest in that first 20 minutes. So
didn't keep me awake. Yeah.
Right. But then I went back and watched it and was like, oh shit, you're dumb. You just didn't stay up enough to see what was going on. Because it's definitely a good show about, it's about a kid. He's damn near, well, he's not a foster kid. He's running from DFS or whatever. Because his dad, he lived with his dad, and his dad was like they lived in Hawaii, and his dad was a treasure hunter.
Okay.
And he left. He thought there was one treasure he was always looking for that he thought he found. So he wrote his son a letter saying, I'm going to disappear for a bit, like going to look for the shit. And he left him by himself. So the police know he's living there by himself. So they keep trying to get him to go into foster care or whatever. But meanwhile, he thinks his dad's still alive. He's been gone for like 9 months or so. And he thinks his dad's still alive somewhere. So he's trying to find the treasure for the money and clues to see if his dad's still out there.
All right.
So it's like a group of 16-year-olds that like just got, boats in Hawaii, like,
It sounds like an updated take on the Goonies almost. A little bit older, but like kind of treasure hunt, like
somewhat.
Okay.
That thought never crossed my mind. I guess that's exactly what that is, huh?
That's what came to mind while you were describing it. So I don't know. That sounds interesting. That's one I'll have to check out.
That's exactly what that is.
You know what I'm waiting for to come back on Netflix though?
The Witcher.
Well, that too.
I don't think I finished that the first. I think I still got 1 or 2 episodes left.
That one was good, but I think when you and I talked about it last year, like you thought it was good, and then you were like you didn't want it to end, so you were gonna wait until the next season came out.
That might be what it is. What it was. It was better than I thought. But what was you waiting on?
Ozark, man. Ozark should be dropping before the end of the year, I think. And the way that season ended, man.
I gotta give it a chance.
You have to. Because what's his name?
Jason Bateman.
Yeah, like he is great in it.
I mean, I've seen 1 or 2 episodes like in the middle, like watching somebody else watch it. But...
And it's good to see. I love seeing comedic actors in those more dramatic roles because I think a lot of the times, like, and I mean, you've seen this with comedians over the years, like, they've got a lot more depth and emotion, which is why they're good at comedy.
Right.
And so being able to see it a little more, like, serious roles out of folks like that is always, I think, more often than not, comedic actors translate better to drama than dramatic actors translate to comedy.
Right. It's a fly here. I don't want to catch it. That motherfucker too big.
Where's your chopsticks?
Man. I'm telling you, I'm swift.
Then your son.
But yeah, what was we talking about?
We're starting to go back and forth on Netflix series. I haven't seen any plot lines for Witcher 2, so I'm like, while I know I'll like it, I actually like the fact that I don't know kind of where the story's going at this point. Because it doesn't follow the video game per se, it more follows kind of the books that inspired the video games.
Right. I never played the game.
It's cool that, like, I'm familiar with, like, the lore and, like, the mythology around it, but, like, I have no idea where that shit's going.
So you read the books, too?
No, but I've played the video games, and I know enough from the lore, like, kind of what the overarching backstory is, and it sounds like, if I remember correctly, that they were going to start to introduce, like, the Wild Hunt, which is I want to say is a little bit more, like, Norse mythology.
What is that?
So Norse being like Vikings.
No,
right? Oh,
like
the Wild Hunt. Think about it like the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse kind of deal. That's kind of what inspired
that. That's the exact thought that popped in my mind when you said that. That's what made me. So.
Or like what was it? Darksiders was the video game.
Yeah, I know.
You played as one of the 4 Horsemen.
I've never played it, but is that what that was?
Yeah.
So who did you kill?
Well, I'm trying to remember how far in that game I did. Like, I played it, but I don't think I actually, like, went in depth with it. Because it was one of those kind of games like, what is it? Like Shadows of the Colossus, where, like, you have to have, like, the right timing and everything on that shit.
Right.
And it's not my jam. I'm too old for that shit.
That fly is gonna drive me fucking crazy. It just keeps flying around here. I don't know. But are they working on the second one?
For The Witcher, yeah.
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 Did
I
they
actually think
give a release date?
I think it's early 2022. Like it may already be shot and they may be in post because that one does a lot of like effects after the fact. Like there's a fair amount of special effects in that show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what else I went back and watched, or I started watching
What?
a couple weeks ago was I restarted Game of Thrones.
What?
Yeah.
That's
I
too
love
much.
that show, man. I love it.
I mean, it is good. Don't get me wrong. But to rewatch, but aren't they coming out with the final or whatever?
They are coming out with a prequel. So
about the
the
Targaryens or whatever.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. I think it's called like the House of the Dragon or something like that.
Is that written by the dude that wrote the books?
I believe that he is the showrunner on it or has ties to it. But I don't know. Like, I think it's based on. So, like, Tolkien has the Silmarillion, which is kind of like all of the. It's more of like a historical book for Lord of the Rings, like what happened before the events of Lord of the Rings. I think George R.R. Martin did something similar for Game of Thrones, and I think that's what it's based on. Which I want to see that, and I want to see the Lord of the Rings show for exactly the same reason. Like I'm curious to see how they take something that was not meant to be dramatic and turn it into a show. Like, basically what that does is it gives you the world within which to play. And I think, honestly, a lot of times when it comes to TV series in particular, that's what's missing, is they're trying to focus on these individual characters, but they don't make you feel like there's an existing world.
Right.
And so, like, that's why and I think we've talked about this a little bit with, like, reboot or, like, I think the term I've seen is like requel, where it's a bit of a reboot, but it's really a sequel in the same world. Like
that new Ghostbusters.
Exactly. Ghostbusters Afterlife is a great example where it takes place 30 years after the events of the first one, but it's still in the same world. And so you can tap into that lore, but tell an entirely new story. And honestly, that's what Star Wars tried to do in the Disney era, but then they went back to the well a little too much in terms of the old characters.
What you mean? Like bringing Luke,
Han, Leia, all those folks back.
Oh, okay.
Where if they hadn't done that at all, I think that trilogy would have been much better received. But because you went back and you messed with characters who, like, people define their childhood around.
Right.
You're never going to make people happy because people have their own, like, recollection of how that affected them.
Right.
But if they just drop by for, like, a quick cameo, that's different. But when you make them a central part of the story, you either have to tell a very basic story and give people what they want, or you're going to piss everyone off. And that's what Last Jedi did to Star Wars fans, was it pissed everybody off.
Well, you don't think that there's a possibility of that taking place with this new Ghostbusters movie?
No, because one, like, Harold Ramos is dead. Rick Moranis may be in it. Bill Murray may be in it, but
I think
like,
he is.
I don't think they're an integral part. I think that they are basically like window dressing or background decoration. They are cameo, but they aren't the focus of the story. Like, maybe they go to Bill Murray like when shit starts going down, and he's the one that gives them like the
Dan
fucking,
Aykroyd.
Yeah, the photon beams and the traps. But watching Cliff with this goddamn fly,
it's gonna drive me fucking crazy. It's driving me nuts right now. I'm just trying not to knock shit over. That's why I'm.
No, I'm with you. I hear you. Luke, Luke chiming in the chat with he's giving us high school score updates. You want them?
Yeah, what's the high school scores?
Watterson beat. He didn't give me who they were playing. I think they were playing Buckeye Valley. So Watterson beat Buckeye Valley 27-6. Whetstone is beating Grandview, which is who we were supposed to play tonight.
You were supposed to play Grandview?
Yeah, it would have been an ass whooping.
So that was
that would have been a win, and now it's a no contest.
So what? Whetstone didn't have an opponent either.
Whetstone was supposed to play Northland, who we played 2 weeks ago. Northland is also on quarantine protocol.
Oh, for real?
So what I think happened was somebody at our game got sick. That kid, at least whoever got sick on our side, didn't come back to practice. I think it was our left tackle. But before he quarantined himself or stayed home sick, he got somebody else on our team sick who played in the game last week, and then tested positive over the weekend. I'm betting a similar situation happened with Northland. So Whetstone and Northland were supposed to play today. We were supposed to play Grandview. I guess Whetstone and Grandview picked each other up after we both got popped. So.
My chin is itching.
And then Uncle Dan chiming in with asking about all the Star Trek stuff that's dropping. Star Trek does have a ton of shit dropping on Paramount Plus. Really? I could not tell you anything about it because other than like Picard and Discovery, I haven't been paying attention to what's coming out. Now, Uncle Dan, I'll tell you that like when I get around to watching it, I'll probably do individual videos on those series, but I don't know enough about it to bring. Yeah, so they are dropping. God, they're dropping like 3 or 4 new Star Trek series.
I might watch them
all in parallel.
I might watch them because I told you I can't remember what it was that kind of eased me back in. Well, not back because I never really got into the outer space shit, but it was a couple shows that eased me back into being interested in shit like that.
Yeah.
I want to say that Lost in Space was one of them.
That makes sense.
I want them to come out with another episode of that, either that or the what's the other one?
You told me, and now I'm blanking on it. But there was basically like
Life After or something like that. Or,
yeah,
I can't think of it, but either way, both of them was good, and they didn't seem like they were finished. You know what I mean? So unless they just canceled the show,
what you ran into was COVID, and unfortunately, unless a series was like top of the line,
I hit it. I hit that.
Maybe you got it.
I didn't. It's still flying.
But what happened with those is that unless it was a top tier show for them, I think they canceled pretty much everything. Like there was a nice like teen drama that I think was. It was a little sci-fi, but it was more like thriller horror. What was it? Was it The Society? And it was kind of a Lord of the Flies type situation. Like these kids went off on a bus to go to like some overnight trip, and when they came back, the town was abandoned, and like these kids, you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't know the name. But I've seen the
Netflix trailer.
Yeah, I definitely have seen that.
And that one ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger, and then they decided not to bring it back. I mean, Glow was the same way, and Glow I thought was a top tier show.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I loved Glow.
I did too.
I remember Netflix used to have a show that I used to love. I can't remember what it was called. The Colony.
Okay.
It was not the scripted one.
Oh, it was like a reality show?
Yeah, it was a reality show. And what it was it was supposed to be like based on the end of the world type shit.
Okay.
Like, so they would drop like 8 people in a warehouse and there would be no electricity, no running water, no anything like that. So it was their job to
basically reestablish civilization.
Right. Find shit in the warehouse, go out and scavenge shit around the area.
Like a real life Walking Dead without the zombies.
But then they would have actors that would play like bandits.
Okay.
Like, so they would try to steal the shit that they got, or they would kidnap people that were by themselves and they would be taken out of the show. Like, so you had to move in groups and like, you know, you like
had to have each other's backs and
right, and hide from the wasn't a lot of hiding, I'm sure, because you know there were camera crews there, but it was pretty interesting, and to see like what the people had knowledge of and how they like built shit.
Yeah,
like these motherfuckers had all kinds of shit. They had electricities and showers and all kinds of shit. Cool. By like, because I think the whole thing was like 3 months.
Okay, like a 90-day.
Yeah, I think it's a 3-month thing. So like by the time they got into that second month, they were like starting to, you know, build up. But then what would happen is they would send too many people out on a scavenge and somebody would come and steal it or fuck up all their shit. And they'd have to, one of them was like they were on like an island and they had to find their way off of it. Like they had to build
like a raft
shit, right, to carry enough people to, it wasn't like an island, it was like a marsh, like a swamp type.
Okay.
But it was a good show. They had 2 seasons of it. I think they both on YouTube, but they're not good enough quality for you to be interested in them. They used to be on Netflix, is why I brought them up.
Yeah.
But Netflix took them off.
Which probably
I love that show.
Third party or something, and then YouTube picked it up.
That was a good ass show.
Speaking of good ass shows, this should be coming back in January, I think.
What?
That Cobra Kai, man.
Oh, for real?
With Terry from Karate Kid 3.
Who's that?
The dude with the long hair that trains Daniel before you find out that like he was training Mike Barnes all along and basically was looking to double cross Daniel because he's buddies
I don't know who that is.
Oh man, Terry Silver, I think is the character's name, but he's coming back in season
I can't even remember what happened in the second season of that show.
Well, the second one was the one that would jump the shark a little bit because that was the one where Miguel broke his back at the end.
Oh no, he broke his back at the end of the first one, wasn't it?
I thought that was the end of the second.
I thought that was the finale.
Wasn't the finale of the first one the first tournament?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because he had won the tournament mid-season through the first one.
Was it? Okay.
I thought the second one was him waking up out of the coma, and that was the one where the coach was dropping him, like holding him up on with the legs. I think
that's season 3. I think that's season 3 where he wakes up.
Oh, they got 3 seasons?
Yeah. This will be.
Then you might be right. I thought it was only 2.
Because his daughter doesn't start training until the second season, and she's part of that big fight. That that badass chick who's one of the Cobra Kai, she doesn't even get introduced until the second season.
Yeah, you're right. You are right.
But that's when it started escalating.
Then the third season is the one I was saying I don't remember what happened.
Yeah.
The last one is what I'm getting. Basically, what I was getting at is I'm probably gonna have to watch season 3 over before.
The nice thing is there's 8 to 10 episodes, and they're like half an hour long or 25 minutes long or whatever. You can rewatch the whole fucking series in 3 hours, 4
Oh, the dude. He beat up the dude in the 3rd season.
Yeah, that's right.
The dude that trained him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what happened. Okay. It's all right. I like Cobra Kai. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
I thought it was gonna be hella stupid.
I did too, and I was worried because I was a big original like Karate Kid trilogy fan, and that's one of those movies that like I grew up watching with my dad. My dad would put on, Karate Kid on a Saturday, and we would just chill and watch it.
Right.
But yeah, like it's the right balance. Again, this goes back to my earlier comment. They built something within the universe and continued the story like 30 years down the line.
Right. They did that in a good way.
They did.
And they kept the main people, and it still worked though.
Yes, and they actually focused on Johnny more than they did Danny, which was actually what they needed to do to make that work.
Right.
Because if it had all been about LaRusso, it would have been I don't think I would have stuck with it.
I don't think I would have watched it.
Right. But the fact that like Johnny, who's only in the first episode or in the first movie, and it's really focused on him and like how fucked up his life was after, was phenomenal. And then when they brought in the dude that he fought in Okinawa, I think that was season 3. That was another good one where it was like they did it the right way, and like you think that they still got beef or whatever, and then he's like, "No, I'm just kidding," and he gives him like
honks his nose.
Right.
Honks his nose. I guess I do remember that.
Yeah, but no, that show, like, what else could they do like that? I'm trying to think of like other. Actually, you know what they need to do, and I don't know that you're a fan of this. Fucking Back to the Future. They need to do Back to the Future in that exact same way. Like it's Marty and someone finds the DeLorean, and they show up either at Doc's house or Marty's house, and they're not like the center focus of the story, but they're kind of background characters that are like, be careful if you do this, or if you're really gonna do this, here's what you need to watch out for, and shit like that. Like, I think that is the only way you can bring Back to the Future back. Would be to do like a series just like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it would be tough to do as a series because it would have to, like, you have to put a lot of production value into those episodes.
I mean, would you though?
I would imagine.
You would have to find the right sets. I guess it depends on like where they go. Cause I'm thinking like that could, like, the cartoon for Back to the Future was very episodic. Yeah, there was a Back to the Future cartoon.
Oh, okay.
That could be like very episodic. And the cartoon followed Doc and Clara's kids from the third one.
Who's Clara?
Clara was Doc's love interest in the third movie. It was the teacher that he saved from going over Clayton Ravine, which you find out was named for her.
I wasn't a big Back to the Future fan either.
No, I get that. That's why I said I don't know that you would have an opinion here, but like the cartoon series followed Doc and Clara's kids. I feel like you could do that with live action, and the kids by this point could be in their like 20s or 30s, and Doc is 60 or whatever, 80.
Right.
How
old was the motherfucker?
Right. He's probably 80 or 90 in real life. But they got that technology, man. De-age them, it's fine.
Right. Something. Doc de-aged is
still old as shit.
Is Rick from Rick and Morty.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. That's probably why they'll never do it, because they've already done it. It's Rick and Morty, and it's a cartoon again.
I think they should do a live action Scooby-Doo show.
I mean, they've done a shit ton of live action movies.
But the movies, that's why I said a show, because the movies the movies they couldn't stick with, you know, a specific contract, and they kept getting new people to play new what's going on there?
We've got a couple of subscriptions, but they look bogus because it's the same name rewritten in like 4 different ways. About to turn off the alerts.
But what was I even saying?
You're talking ScoobyDoo and doing live action series.
They couldn't stick with the same people. And I don't even think that you would have to use those specific people from the movie. I wouldn't even like you said, I would do it down the timeline.
Yeah.
And I would have it be new kids.
Okay.
And then I would have it be Scrappy-Doo instead of Scooby-Doo.
I mean, it's definitely due for an update because they've been using the same fucking characters for 50 years. Like, my mom grew up watching Scooby-Doo.
Right. And it just doesn't make sense for it to be a 50-year-old show and you do a revamp of it and use the same old people.
Right. No, I'm with you.
And now that everybody's getting looser, let them know they smoked.
Right.
let them know they
Shit's
smoked.
legal now. Fuck it.
Right. Make them older kids. They would have to be older kids.
I mean,
they drove and shit.
Even in the movies, like, those actors are in their 30s, if not older.
Yeah,
it's not like they're playing them with kids. Like, even in the cartoon, even in the, you know, the 60s cartoon, they're not like, I guess they're supposed to be teenagers maybe, but even the way those characters are designed, like, they look like a bunch of, right, they look like a bunch of like mid-20, early 30-year-olds.
See, I was thinking like fresh, like 1920.
Oh, that just triggered something for me, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was thinking 19, what?
You said fresh. Here's what I want. I want a reboot of Fresh Prince with
They're doing that.
With Will Smith as like the uncle figure. Basically, Will Smith is now Uncle Phil. The problem is Will's ego is too big. I don't know if he would play second fiddle to someone else unless it was like Jaden or something.
No, they announced the kid.
They did the reunion special or whatever, but I didn't know that they had said they were rebooting Fresh Prince.
Yeah, they're doing
okay, I can get behind that.
But I think it's supposed to be about his young days when he was still in Philly.
Oh, okay. So it's more like a prequel type shit.
Right.
Yeah, see, that's not what I want. I want
Jabari Banks.
I want Will Smith at his current age playing an Uncle Phil type character to a new kid.
But I don't think it would be the same.
No, but that's why I'm saying kind of a requel type idea. Like, Will did everything that Uncle Phil wanted him to do. Uncle Phil is passed by this point, and
he'd have to be. He really is.
Right. And so,
God rest his soul.
And then maybe you get the original Aunt Viv to show up, and she's there, and she's like kind of the way the grandma was in, what was it, Family Matters?
She ain't coming back. You talking about dark skin Aunt Viv?
Yes,
she ain't coming back.
They reconciled at the reunion special.
Oh, is that what you think?
No, but it was good for TV, and I bet you if you gave her money, she'd come back.
Bitch. I'm gonna get that motherfucker.
This is like that presidential debate where the fly just landed on Pence's head.
And that's all people talked about. It ain't gonna get close enough to me. I ain't no lizard. I ain't no lizard person. I'm gonna catch that motherfucker, boy. I tell you. But I'm sure he gonna make his cameos. You know that, like you said, he got enough of an ego that you gonna see him pop up every now and again. I promise you that.
No doubt, no doubt.
But
I like this train of thought we're on, though. I'm trying to think like what else is due for.
that's what I was thinking. That's what I was umming about.
Uncle Dan chimed in. The Fly 5, Cliff 0.
Right, man. Listen, I didn't smack the TV, had the little light streaks going across it and all that. That motherfucker is swift and it's big. I can catch it, but I don't want to smash it in my hand.
I mean, you got any kind of aerosol spray, whether it's air freshener or something else, just fucking spray it, dude. Even Febreze or whatever would knock it out.
I wish I had one of my stress balls.
There you go.
That's my favorite, is pitching at a fly on the wall. Wow, seeing how my arm still works.
All right, I'll make sure.
I want to start
I'll make sure I'm available to take you to urgent care when you tear your shoulder.
Nah, I'm good, baby. I'm good.
Did you end up finding somebody else for flag? The guys I talked to kind of chumped out, so.
We got a team. First game Sunday at 11.
All right. There you go.
My brother won't be there, though.
No.
He's going to the Bengals game in Cincinnati that Sunday.
All right.
So we're going to have to play the first game without him. But nah, we going to be something.
Good shit.
We going to be something. I can't wait. Can't wait till Sunday. I ain't been doing, huh?
I said I'm trying to get D&D going back on Sunday. We'll see.
When y'all do that?
Usually from like 12:30 to 3:30, something like that.
Okay.
We're trying to.
The latest game would be at 12.
Trying to figure out if we're gonna get back into the campaign, in which case like I gotta do some shit Saturday night, or if we're just gonna do a one shot this week.
Are you hosting it?
So yeah, I'm the current DM for like our big overarching campaign, but because of everything that's been going on the last month,
you don't know if you're hopping back into that specific.
Right. I'm not sure I'm ready to, so I'm trying to see if somebody else would be interested in running a game, or otherwise we may have to wait one more week just for me to get my shit together. Not saying I couldn't wing it, because like I generally wing most of the stuff, and if I can find my notes from our last session, like I think I know where I wanted it to go next or what the next plot point was going to be.
Right.
So I could probably make it work, but
see, I don't know enough about the game to know how it would go running it.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, the big thing is like I use enough stolen shit from like other modules or other campaigns that like the battles and stuff that I run,
and what's the?
I don't have to do a lot of research.
I don't mean to cut you off. What was the name of that podcast that you said that did the live? Not live.
They did basically the D&D stuff, so it's Critical Role.
Critical Role.
And they just finished up like a 6 or 7 episode kind of short campaign. And it's called, I think, Tales of Exandria or something to that effect. And I'm about, I think out of I can't remember if it was 6 or 8 episodes. I think I'm on like episode 5 because, again, with shit going on the last month, I didn't listen much. And
podcast is all I listen to at work.
Well, I'm starting to get back into doing my walking in the morning. So that's how I'm catching back up now. Because again, I wasn't doing jack shit because I was trying to spend as much time with A-Reg as possible. So now
around here, I don't like putting headphones in when I run or walk or.
But I tell you what, my neighborhood's the same way. I do it at 6 a.m. because generally speaking, the people that are going to start some shit aren't up at that point. They've either just gone to bed or they at work.
Might do some half sprints up and down my block.
Right.
Where I know it's safe.
I hear you. No, now I keep an eye out for the pretty girls that are doing it the same thing at 6 a.m. Exandria Unlimited, Uncle Dan chiming in the chat. Uncle Dan, it's nice to have you back, man. It's been a little while, and I know it's because our schedule's been all fucked up. But
what's that mean?
Good to see you. Exandria is kind of like Exandria Unlimited is like the campaign name.
Oh, okay.
So like when you go to the Critical Role podcast, you'll see, like, if you go back far enough, you'll see Vox Machina, which was the first campaign. You'll see the Mighty Nine, Nein, and then Exandria Unlimited is kind of like this mini campaign between Critical Role seasons.
Okay, I'm gonna check that one out.
And it's actually, I think her name's Abrea. Actually, Black Girl DM. And she does a great job with it. Like I wasn't sure about her the first like episode or so, because I think that she was just kind of stepping into it and kind of new to that audience and that setting and those characters. But
you're a racist dungeon master.
No, but by the end of it, like I love her. I love her style now. Like I was not a big fan the first episode or two, and then and honestly, maybe less about her, maybe me just getting used to it being somebody other than Matt Mercer running it. Like,
I don't know.
The DM for like the big campaigns, or
right?
So
right.
It just took a little while getting used to one way or the other. But
yeah,
I mean, it's good.
Dungeon master.
Yeah, probably racist. Throw it out there. You see the skinhead, it's fine.
Yeah, right. That motherfucker real shiny,
dude. If you look, you see how far back that Widow's Peak is now? It's right here. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it anymore, man.
Right. I
straight razor this shit now. Like, I'm over it. I'm done.
That's how I would be doing mine, but, you know, I still got a little something.
Uh-huh. I see. You got your 5 head, but you still got that line. You good.
Listen, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it.
And I tell you what. Some of the ladies on these dating apps, man, they got a thing for the baldies.
Oh, you know that. You know that. If you could grow
you rub
a
it
beard,
for good luck, just go ahead. Right, if I could grow a beard, I'd be straight.
He'd
Nah,
be in
shit.
there. You'd be
Fuck
in
you.
there on the apps. Listen.
Oh, man. I mean, you're not wrong. You don't have to say it.
I got to. For the sake of entertainment.
Oh, by the way, tonight's episode brought to you by Elvis AF from our good friends over at Brewdog.
Oh, that's not fun.
Dude, you know what?
I do want to taste one, though.
I've told you that, like, I don't think that was as big an issue as it was made out to me to be. However, I know myself,
I get it.
And I don't drink. I have, since like my first couple years after college, I know myself well enough to know that if I'm drinking when I'm depressed, it's a bad situation.
Right.
And so right now, honestly, like I've been good, man. Like I've been able to go out, have fun, and not need it. Which to me tells me that, like, one, again, coming back to that, like, out of the cage and kind of back to being myself and not really giving a fuck what other people think. Like, you either like me or you don't. I don't really care. I don't care.
Listen.
Now, when you're living in a neighborhood where people are in your face all the time and, like, your kid's involved and your wife's involved, like, I'm not putting on the front anymore. I do that enough at work. When I am off the clock, I'm me now. Fuck it.
That's the only time I ever will be.
Right. Well, and you know what?
And that's because you pay me to.
Right, exactly. I actually put in one of the profiles on those fucking things, I was like, I've been Mr. Right. Now I'm just going to do me.
Listen.
Because that shit ain't work for me. You know? Hey, dude. Let him live.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. You still breathing, so keep living. Shit.
Even my son said something today. He's like, Dad, you just seem happy. And I'm like, I am, actually. Other than missing you, buddy, I'm good.
That's good that he noticed.
So, man.
Listen.
I'm excited. He's got a soccer game tomorrow. He's back into a sport that he wants to do.
Tomorrow's Saturday.
He's playing up at Easton.
I've been fucked up. I was off today, and it messed my whole.
Your days are up, dude. Same way. Like, I was talking to people Monday night after Labor Day, being like, "How was your Sunday?" Like, they're like, "Dude, it's Monday."
Yeah, my whole week's messed up.
That's what happens when the Alexa doesn't tell me what day it is, because I don't have internet. Oh shit!
I know the date, but I just don't know the day.
Well, okay. So there is a significant date tomorrow.
9/11.
It is. Where were you? That's always the question that gets asked on big events like that. I understand. Do you remember like what you were doing when you found out, or was it not as big a deal for you?
I mean, I'm not gonna say it wasn't a big deal. I don't know. I don't remember how exactly I felt about it at the time.
Yeah.
But I do remember being in, I think it was gym class.
Okay.
When they said something. And then everybody went to the lunchroom and they had it on the TV. Yeah, I think I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, I think for me, I was leaving homeroom, and I had.
What time was it? Or
I feel like it was like late 9s, early 10 o'clock, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly gym class. Okay, so I am remembering that correctly.
So
in the next period, we went to the lunchrooms, and that's when they were showing it on the TV.
So I had history first period, and the teacher there was my homeroom teacher. And then at the end of that class, basically right after the bell rang, my homeroom teacher's son, who was in my class, came in and basically said a plane had struck the towers. And we had it on in Algebra 2, which was my next class, and we saw like the live feed of.
Oh yeah, the TV was on in every class for the
second
rest
plane
of the...
going in, like. And I just remember like you kept having like the next shoe drop because it was like an hour or half an hour later or 20 minutes later after the second plane hit that it hit the Pentagon, and then the one went down in PA.
Right. Yeah, man, that shit was crazy. I mean, but
we played Reedy that week. That's what I remember is. So school shut down. I think we only had like a day off, and we came back.
I don't remember having any time off.
No, maybe we didn't. Maybe we came in, but like maybe it was just we didn't actually do much school at that point.
Right.
And then because they had pretty much shut down the country because they were worried about any big gathering of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember playing Reedy that week, and it was like huge just fanfare and kind of emotion for like the national anthem and all that, and it was a fucking good game. Like we ended up losing, but we lost by like a touchdown, and we were driving at the end, and Jack Rafferty stepped over the line to throw a touchdown pass as time expired and got flagged for being over the line.
My nigga dropped this whole info. He said fuck him for that play.
Well, this is also the same quarterback that got named captain at the end of our junior season and then left before senior year came around. So
where'd he go?
Dublin Kaufman.
Oh.
Was almost Mr. Ohio. Until he
really?
got his shoulder separated in the playoff game. Couldn't have happened.
Get back out there, kid. Mr. Ohio's on the line.
Right? No doubt. Pop that bitch back in. Let's go.
Was it his throwing arm?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, he was pretty much an option quarterback at that point, but he had been I mean, when he was at SC, we were throwing, 80 times a game.
Oh, for real?
Dude, our games were so long. So long.
So did he pop it out or did he throw it out? Like how did
he got hit? He got hit and landed on it. So I'm sure it was separated and an AC joint thing, and
right.
He got fucked up.
That's why he went to Dublin Kaufman, because y'all's offensive line was suspect.
Dude. Especially after they took me off of it. It was funny. What they decided when he left was that they were going to put all the talent on defense, and defense would be what we would try to stay in games with.
Right.
And I was pissed because I had been a two-way starter the year before, and they made the decision off of a scrimmage where I lost 15 pounds in a matter of 3 hours.
How you do that?
Water weight, man. It was 90 degrees. We were in black jerseys, and it was middle of the day. And they were like, they basically tried to say that I wasn't in shape to do it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I mean, I still played goal line, and I would still come in certain packages or whatever on offense, but I was pissed, man. So.
That's tough.
Yeah, what are you going to do? So any of your inadvertents come back to you?
No, I don't remember. I really don't.
I'm trying to think what's coming up.
Every time I take a nap before we do this, I just have a hard time waking back up.
Nah, I hear you. Well, and again, like, I haven't had access to shit, so I didn't do any kind of research leading into this to be like, oh, this happened this week. And honestly, like, what's going on in the world? Is it just COVID at this point? Because that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like we're on the verge of another fucking, like, global lockdown, and I'm kind of like, I don't care
That's
anymore.
Exactly where we're headed towards.
I know a bunch of the school districts just went back to, like, masks no matter where you are, whether you're outside or not. Like, I don't know what Columbus is doing, Columbus Public, but I know Bexley, New Albany, Gahanna, like, I feel like they've all gone back to kind of all masks all the time. So.
What can you do? Be safe.
Nothing, apparently.
All right.
And I mean, you're hearing more and more stories about people being vaccinated and getting it too. So at this point, I'm kind of like, what I have heard though is that if you get it when you're vaccinated, or vice versa, if you have COVID and then get vaccinated, like, your immunity is, I won't say guaranteed, but it's like 99% effective at that point versus what I think is like 80% with just one or the other.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Who knows if any of that? Who knows if any of that shit's true? I was talking to a woman at work, and I guess one of the folks on my team, like, she's younger, doesn't want to get the vaccine because exactly kind of your point when the vaccine conversation started. Like, you don't know what it does to fertility. There hasn't been enough tests and all that. And I'm like, see, that I get. Like, personally, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, if it happens, it happens.
Doesn't matter either way, right? It's not that I'm not there either. It's just I still got questions, G.
I get it. And I really believe in the choice around the vaccine. Now, as long as you're willing to accept those consequences, which are more like if businesses want to start refusing people that aren't vaccinated, understand that's part of the consequence, but...
Listen, so. I get it.
Uncle Dan chiming in. I just said that I've heard from somebody that he's basically saying, don't Joe Rogan us, Mike. Check that information. That's fine. I'm not going to argue that. To some level, suspect. Like, yeah, it's the best information we have available. And unfortunately, until it's 30 years later and they're doing a post-mortem on all this shit.
All right.
That's all it's going to be. Like, it's best educated guess.
And that's all. That's the fact of it. Shit.
Right. I have a little bit more on the moving side that I can go into.
What moving side?
So me moving this past weekend. So obviously separating, got half the shit, didn't get the other half. What did I do on like Sunday and Monday? I went and bought shit. I go to Target, buy but like 4 or 5 good knives. Because again, I would like to get back into cooking again. And these fucking knives are all individually wrapped. What do you think happens when you're trying to take the wrapping off of an individually wrapped knife?
You cut yourself?
Oh, yeah. So that one is from an individually wrapped knife. What do you think I realized immediately following that I didn't have in the house?
What, a Band-Aid?
Neosporin or a Band-Aid. So I wrapped my fucking... It's gushing blood. It's healed pretty well so far, but it was deep. Like, right. I took a good 7-8 layers of skin off. So I wrap it in a fucking paper towel. I go to Kroger. I get Band-Aids, Neosporin, that kind of shit. I'm like, cool. The next day, Monday, doing yard work because I'll call her my previous tenant. Did absolutely nothing. Did absolutely nothing. And there was grass and shit like growing up through the sidewalk. Like, I'm like, come on. I fixed all this before I left. The least you could have done was just like spray it, right? So I'm pulling like shit. I'm pulling weeds, pulling grass out of the sidewalk. And something that happens to me about once every 2 to 3 years happened to me.
What?
My eye swole shut by the end of the night. Had some sort of reaction. I get it, like I said, every once in a while. And what do you think I realized I didn't have in the house next?
Benadryl?
Benadryl or any kind of allergy medicine.
Yeah.
Dude, I spent like $150 on like first aid and medical shit on Monday. Like, at that point, I'm like, well, I might as well get the thermometer for Andrew. I might as well get the children's Tylenol. I might as well get the allergy medicine. I might as well get like... Because how am I going to fuck myself up next was the question.
Who needs a thermometer when God gave you hands?
The problem is my body runs hot, and so I can't tell. Like,
right.
It's very difficult for me, and my son runs hot too. Like,
I do too.
So, you know, I can feel his forehead. He's always going to feel warm to me. And, yeah. So, just dumb shit. Just,
my guy said I spent 150 at the, god damn, what the fuck was you buying at the, you prepping for meth?
Yeah, that's probably what they thought. Especially when I came back a day later. Like, this dude's cooking in his basement. I don't know.
They followed you in the traffic cameras, so.
Well, you know, I get that anyways.
Mm.
Last 2 times I was pulled over was in front of my house, so.
They probably thought you was one of them.
No shit. Especially now that I drive the Black Explorer.
Or impersonating one.
Right. No, and it's funny. The woman from last night, she's like, you know, I never noticed how many Black Explorers there are all around Columbus until now. And I'm like, watch out. That's CPD undercover. You gotta watch that shit.
I look for
you see the looks when I pull into your neighborhood.
Oh, I bet.
Not your block, but like your neighborhood. It's like, oh, because I know I look like a cop, especially with a fucking bald head.
And you know you can see that motherfucker through tint. That motherfucker shining.
Somebody got a light, or the sun just glaring off of it. It's like I got a third headlight.
Man. I bet you blinding a few birds with that glare. You see some birds fly into some windows around you, you know you the culprit.
You remember Mick, dude that Kevin lived with for a little bit? he always used to answer the phone. Cue ball, or this is the slutty motel. Cue ball speaking.
He was more egg shaped. You're more cute.
Oh shit! You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. I mean, I can own it. Again, there is a market for the bald head on the dating apps. So.
Listen, I bet.
The other thing that I get is they think I'm a country boy, and I'm like, I ain't a country boy, but I can play the part if you need me to.
Uh-oh. That's code word for do you have a Confederate flag hanging up anywhere?
You ain't wrong. Hey, if all they're looking to do is fuck, what do I care?
Listen. You are ignorant.
I told you, I'm me now, man. It's uncaged.
Oh, shit.
Reggie Unfiltered.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, that's funny. What you got, man?
I don't have shit. Like
I'm dry.
I got my son sleeping downstairs. That's all that really matters.
Listen. Motherfuckers is safe.
Right.
At the end of the day. Well, where are we at? How long have we been on?
We're about 90 minutes in, so if we wanted to cut it early, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I know we don't want to get into football because we've got Hit the Showers tomorrow. I'm going to do my best to see if I can hop on. It's tougher now that I've got him on Saturdays, but I should be good for Wednesdays from here on out.
Right.
I didn't have fucking internet this week. So I would have loved to get into the fact that we got the Bills Steelers week 1, you got the Browns going to KC, like
yeah.
Do the Browns have a chance in KC? The only thing I can think of is it's early. So they might be able to catch them sleeping.
I think it'll be similar to how Dallas Tampa Bay went.
I hear you.
I think it'll be similar. I think if the Browns, I don't really see them winning, but if they do, it'll be by a few, and if they lose, it'll be by a
lot.
few.
Oh, you think it'll be by just a few?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be by a lot. I think
you're expecting them to maybe cover the spread, but not pull out the win.
Yeah, I think it's early in the season, and when you got a chance to knock off somebody that high on the totem pole, you take it every chance you get.
You have to, because you don't want to be playing in Kansas City in January.
Right.
You'd rather be playing that game in Cleveland or in Buffalo and make Mahomes go somewhere where there's some fucking snow on the ground.
Right. So I think they're going to come out a little bit more aggressive than you'll usually see Cleveland come out.
All right. I like that prediction.
I put 5 on Dallas.
Did you?
Malcolm kind of bullied me into that bet, but I didn't think it was that dangerous, and they lost by 2. I was pissed.
Gotcha. I did tell Luke that I would make the offer to you. They're doing the Rams are doing football squares for the Ohio State Oregon game. It's $20.
What's that?
$20 a square. Honestly, I don't know, man. Like, it's some game that, like, I know a lot of people play. Basically, your name gets dropped in. There's like, you've got, I think it's the 4 quarters, and then you've got kind of 0 through 9 on the side. And it's random assignments, but basically if you take the 2 scores added up, whatever's in the ones place is like the square that wins for that quarter. But I don't know that for a fact. Honestly, I don't fuck around with it enough to know. If Luke's still out there and he wants to chime in and let us know, great. But I don't know.
Yeah, I need to know the rules of the game before I choose to play.
No, I got you. Let me give me 1 sec. I will see what I can do to pull it up because I know I've got. Let's see.
But I mean,
the cost
be against it.
The cost of each square is $20. There will be 4 payouts, 1 per quarter. Yeah, see, this is the problem: is that I don't know. Yeah, they've got like 1 through 9 on the left side, and then 1 through 9 across the top. And so I think it's what's in the ones place for each team. So like if you get the square for 4 for Oregon and 1 for Ohio State, and that's the score in the first quarter. Like Oregon has 14 and Ohio State has 11. You would win basically that payout for that quarter, and the payout is it's a $20 per square, and it's $200 payout for each quarter.
So does your one square buy you in each quarter, or do you have to get one square?
Yes, I believe it buys you in each quarter.
Okay.
So
yeah, I would have to know.
Although I don't know, it's looking like it's filled in now, so maybe we sold the ones we needed to sell. I don't know. They asked me about it. They're like, "So Red, you chipping in?" And I basically said, like, "Fellas, I'm refurbishing half a house right now. Like, what the fuck you want from me?"
Listen,
and all my finances are still tied up in joint accounts. Like,
well, I don't chip in unless
right,
it looks good.
No, I hear you on that.
Especially if I don't know what I'm chipping into.
I hear you. And again, I'm sure plenty of people out there can explain it. I can't, because
y'all know.
I barely fill out a bracket for March Madness. Like,
shit, you and me both.
I stopped playing fantasy football because I would play for about 3 weeks and then like fall off. Like,
that's how it was with the one time I played. That's why I ain't played again.
And for me, I mean, honestly, until the Bills got good over the last 2 years, like when my football season's done, I'm kind of done with football. Like, I'll watch bowl games and I'll watch the NFL playoffs, but outside of that, I'm just tired. I'm exhausted.
Right. No, I get that.
All right, man. Well, we're at 90 minutes. It's almost 11. You want to cut it a little early tonight?
Yeah, man. I came in ill prepared.
Nah, it's all good, because I mean, honestly, like, I told you yesterday that I wasn't even sure we were going to be able to do a show because I didn't know if I'd have fucking internet. So this ain't bad for, going off of 4 hours notice or whatever. So,
but I mean, I'm not against wrapping it up.
All right. Well, you got anything to take us out then, sir?
Love everybody. Your body, your choice for now. Yeah, but that's all I got, Jack.
All I've got is, guess who's back? Back again. Reggie's back. Tell your friends.
Don't tell them friends. Leave the friends out of it.
All right, tell the ones you don't really care about.
But he's back.
He's back.
He's stupid.
And with that, this has been Do Fools Agree. As always, we appreciate you. Do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. Peace out, fools.
All right.